I'm 1,000 pieces, still standing tall, a voice in the chaos. I've lived it all. I'm the wife on a murder, a friend in the night, holding a broken, still holding the light. Shells in my pocket, dreams in my hands, building something they don't understand. The crafter of hope from shattered days, finding my strength in a million ways. They don't see the tears fall down in the shower. They don't know the pain behind the power. They only see me when I'm shining bright, not the battles I fight every night. But still I rise through the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings in my name. I built this fight through the pain. Every rebel that stayed by my side. You're the reason I survive. Still I rise, still I stand, with a broken heart and steady hands. They try to tear me down piece by piece, like I don't deserve a moment of peace. Was it just cause I didn't fit them mold? So they threw their stones and turned so cold. There are things I'll never say out loud, the kind of pain I don't need a crowd, but I carry it deep where the silence lives, and still find a way to give and give. And I smile when I go live like I'm okay, but they don't see the price I'll pay. We missing you with every breath I take. My sweet boy, my heart's still brave, but still I rose for the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong. This is where I belong. Mommy ramblings, this is me. Every left, still chasing dreams. Every rebel that never walked away. You're the light that got me through the grave. Still I rise, still out there, with your memory in my head. God, you carried me when I was weak, when I couldn't stand, you lifted me more times than I could ever say. You made a way, you made a way. And I've got dreams that won't let go, a foundation built, some love I know. For my son, for the ones he played, I'll turn my loss into something I've been made. Yeah, I rise, now I'm stronger than before. Every scar just opened up a door. I'm still here, hear me now. I won't break, I won't bow. Mommy rambling, loud and clear. This is my voice, this is my ear. Every rebel, every heart, you've been with me from the start. Still I rise, still I fight, turning darkness into light. I'm still your mom, I still stay your name, and I'll build something beautiful from all this pain.
Okay. Hi, everybody. I knew that was going to happen. Hopefully you can hear me. Well, I've got a really big show tonight. I'm not at Sullivan, but I do have a really big show tonight. Hold on. I'm trying to get to the live chat because I just... Okay. So first up, hi, Catherine. How are you? Denise, Jen Grill. I just missed someone else. I just saw myself. Tree Dog Night. Okay. But hold on. Okay. So, okay. Today we're going to talk about, is Patrick Clancy hiding something? And I'll tell you why. Because I've been doing some research on the Clancy case, and guess what? A lot of people are saying, remember I told you before, they were saying that they thought Patrick might be gay. And maybe that's what set Lindsay off. And I tried to look for where that came from, because I could not find facts behind that. People based it off of his looks and, all of that stuff. But guess what? He allegedly has a girlfriend. He allegedly is divorced from Lindsay. He allegedly is married to this new girl. Now, I've heard that, and I've heard that they're running marathons together, and that's why he moved to New York, and that the woman is a nurse, and she's a nurse, and what was the other thing? A nurse. Oh, yeah, and she apparently looks like Lindsay Clancy. Now, we have to take this a little bit with a grain of salt, because I have not seen the pictures. Now, I asked these people to please, where are you getting this from? Did you see them running these marathons? Some people claim they have, or they know about this, and they're keeping it on the down low. And the only reason I think that this may be true is because early on, when we started getting into this trial now, not in the first part of the case, when we covered it from the start, but I'm talking about as we talked about things going to the trial, there was something in the trial documents, and I think it was in the lawsuits, that Patrick, or I don't know which, if it was Patrick's lawsuit or if it was Lindsay's, but it said something to the effect that the marriage is over. Like they were married at that time. And I thought the wording was weird, but I said, like, there's a reason I think they're keeping it on the down low. And I think they're keeping it on the down low because it probably looks better for their lawsuits, and that he's standing by her, and by standing by her means standing by her completely, even though he hasn't been showing up in the court hearing. So is he hiding something? A lot of people think if she's found guilty, will come out, with this whole relationship and everything. But I don't know. I tend to think there's something. Hi, doctor. What do you mean, doctor? What do you mean, doctor? Catherine. Hi, Louis. Doctor. You think she's a doctor? I think she's a nurse, they said. I don't know. You said doctor. Tell me. But let me go. Hold on. Let me go and I'm going to see if anybody gave me some proof that I asked for. Okay. But I will tell you. Hang on here. Let me see. So here's the people are wondering, where is the dad? Where is Lindsay Clancy's husband this whole time? Wonder if he's still with her, visiting her at the hospital. Okay, that was the other crazy thing. When the father asked Patrick to call Lindsay on a birthday or something because she was not doing well, he said something like he hadn't spoken to her since 2023 or whatever it is. So see what I mean? But they're keeping it on the down low. That's my opinion, okay, from what I've gone through this. So someone said he moved to NYC. Someone said he's living in New York, trying to move on with his life. And I'm sure once the trial is over, the divorce will happen. Someone says, let me see here. They are divorced, see? He was referred to in court yesterday as the ex-husband. See? There are little things they forget. Someone said the divorce. He said he was referred to in the last court hearing as the ex-husband. Someone said it happened. He's living in a bachelor pad in Midtown Manhattan. His girlfriend is a nurse, and she looks like Lindsay. Someone says, where did you hear that? Then someone said she's a doctor in New York City. So there you go, Catherine. Okay, it's between a doctor and others. I don't know. She's a doctor. She's a nurse. Who knows? I don't know. But she's a doctor now in New York City, and she does look like Lindsay. I saw pictures. They run marathons and stuff. It seems they've been together for 2 years. Okay. I wonder if this is any meeting of if his mother had anything to do with this. Remember, she knew that nurse. I don't know. Someone said, let me see here. There's no link there. Let me see. Someone said he divorced her in November of 2024. Okay. Someone said it seems unclear if they're still married. Okay. When the New Yorker article went out, it said Pat preferred not to comment on the status of his marriage out of deference to Lindsay. But his mother told me he has come to terms with the fact that she's no longer part of anything. She's going to go her way, and he's going to go his. When Pat crossed the finish line of the Boston Marathon on April 15th, a television reporter stopped him to ask about Lindsay. And he said, I forgive my wife, and I do. He'd run the race in a bright jersey printed with his children's names, and he wasn't wearing his wedding ring. Okay? So they said, it's so conflicting. He calls her his wife. He doesn't have a wedding ring. I would be shocked if they didn't end up divorced after this. His mother seems like a pretty opinionated woman. They said they're going to go their separate ways, and he has to accept it. Seems to me like he's used to women being in control. I think his mother also said Lindsay needs to pay for what she did. Let's see. Someone said, I think he will divorce her. I was surprised he was still referring to her as my wife rather than Lindsay. If my husband ever does something as small as not take the trash out, I'd switch to his government name when talking about him. And she killed his kids. Okay, let's see. Someone says, what makes that make Patrick's mother seem opinionated? I believe Patrick's mother is just being realistic. Lindsay's life will never be the same, nor will Patrick's. There's probably no fixing their marriage after losing the kids. And even if she's acquitted, I'm sure she'll face some restrictions similar to Andrea Yates. So realistically, Patrick will move on. He's still young, and now he lives in a different state. That doesn't mean he'll forget his children, evident from his effort to keep their legacy alive, but his life with Lindsay, as he knew it, is over. The Clancys also seem to prioritize privacy, especially Patrick. Let's see. Someone said in the New Yorker article, Patrick mentioned a case where one father actually stayed with his wife after she killed his children, and even went on to have more children. That gave me the impression that he was possibly considering the same possibility and pitching the idea to the public. Otherwise, why would he have brought it up? Also, his mother said Lindsay needs to pay for what she did. Like, wow, that is a bold, opinionated statement, especially in contrast to the outpouring of support in the town and across the mental health services community and across the internet. The I stand with Lindsay's and the Lindsay's Arms of Love. Okay, someone said, I just now read the article. Thanks for posting it. After reading it and seeing snippets of other cases, I wonder if Lindsay Clancy had researched some of these cases, such as the one you mentioned, and I thought, maybe I can get away with it too. Let's see. Someone said, thanks for the clarification. I did not know the extra details. I do agree. Lindsay needs to pay in some way, but not, I don't know what that would look like. They've all been through trauma, and I'm sure they're handling it differently. Patrick wasn't wearing his wedding ring for the Boston Marathon, and his mom wanting justice for her grandkids doesn't seem bold to me. Patrick also likes to remain unclear, and I'm sure he's told to, given Lindsay's upcoming trial, and I believe that too. Let's see. Someone says she's paying for what she did every single day. They're filing separate lawsuits. Someone said he's filing a lawsuit against the medical practitioners who did absolutely nothing wrong. Some of what her husband says publicly doesn't match his behavior. If he truly believes that she is a victim in all this, why not stand by her side? I think it's possible to understand someone is sick and makes a horrific decision and also not be able to look them in the eye or desire to see them again. She took 3 children from him. I'm not saying if she was sick or not. It's just that may be his opinion. Someone said, I'm sorry, but if someone killed my children and I didn't think they were innocent, I wouldn't be giving them any grace whatsoever. I wouldn't even be able to fake kind words of forgiveness. Let's see. Life is not black and white. It is possible to have conflicting opinions and feelings. He can both believe that she's a victim and be unable to be around her. So, it's craziness there. You going to bed?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my clothes out of the dryer still too.
All right. Eat some cotton candy grapes over there, or strawberries or something. Divorce isn't as cut and dry as people make it seem. Right now, Lindsay has multiple court appearances, is facing murder charges with civil lawsuits. Divorce isn't imminent, and that would be the last thing prioritized for the courts at the moment. The main focus is at the trial, that the kids deserve justice. I'm sure post-trial, once it's concluded and settled down, that he'll feel fine. He's already moved out of the state and lives in New York City. I think the only thing connecting them at this point is the ongoing trial, since Pat was a direct witness and will play a vital role in the testimony. Okay. Let's see. This happened over 3 years ago, and in Patrick's interview with the New Yorker, he said he still talks to her. He released a long statement forgiving. Good night, I love you. Forgiving her, and where was I? One day after the murders, so it's definitely not a matter of the trial taking priority in his life or the courts. Okay, in the article he states that he has only talked to her one time, and it was at the bequest of her parents for her birthday. Right? And then someone said, no, he doesn't state that in the article. In fact, he talks about multiple phone calls with her. But there is somewhere he does talk about that. His parents have attempted to guilt him and to talk her parents into talking to her, and he's probably in immense grief and shock. In some interview, Patrick's mom alluded to something that her husband balked at. Her not to say it. I need to find it. I feel like there's some evidence that the public is unaware of. I also think about how Lindsay kept journals where she was open about her feelings and fears, and yet she did not talk about the voices that her lawsuit says has been ongoing. I remember in an interview, Patrick's mom shut her husband down as he was about to say something. I've always wondered what it was. It was very apparent that the parents of Patrick are trying to stay as neutral as possible in public, but they appear to be very much not on her side. Let's see. Someone said, I think it was the New Yorker article. I asked what they thought of the outcome of the case should be, and he began to answer. Sue cut him off. Lindsay has to pay for what she did. Fortunately, it's not up to any of us to decide what that payment is. Let's see. In the New Yorker article, Lindsay's dad asked Patrick to call her on her birthday because she was in rough shape. And this was the first time he'd spoken to her since February of 2023. It says, on her 33rd birthday last August 2023, Pat called her at the suggestion of her father, who told him that Lindsay was in tough shape and going downhill. Lindsay's parents declined to speak for the article. Lindsay was playing Rummy Cub with a therapist when Pat reached out to her. She told him that every day was the worst day of her life. She misses her kids. And Pat then said, which I know sounds crazy to some people, but that's the reality. Okay. Let's see. Somebody said he was in court with her 4 months ago. I don't think her husband was there. Her dad was there, not her husband. Someone said, I watched it live and it appeared to be Patrick. Someone said, I don't see him anywhere. There's 2 young guys behind her parents, but they have some sort of medical patches on their arms. Patrick was not there. Someone said, who is the guy in the blue shirt that appears to be crying? Someone said, I don't see anybody there. And then they showed me, he looks horrified. I just look over at her, and she looks like she's thinking, I murdered my kids, so what is this? Yeah, that does look like Patrick there, but that's not format. They're showing her in a hospital bed. That must have been the first one, maybe. Okay, I'm confused. Okay. Let me see. So I don't know. We're going to have to see. I think, I don't know. Catherine, you said a doctor, so you've apparently been hearing this too. You heard she's a doctor. Oh, wait a second. You're sending memberships? Hold on a second. How come I didn't hear a little thing? You heard her name was Rachel B. Where'd you hear that, Catherine? Where'd you hear it, Catherine? I'd love to know where you heard it. You saw a copy of a Facebook post. Oh, yeah. Hi, Frilly. I felt like what she was doing is premeditated. I can't imagine wanting to be near someone who murdered my child. She has public Instagram and picture of her and Patrick. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you for putting that through. Who got the memberships? Let me see. McRami, you received a gift membership. Please thank Denise. And Cindy Merriweather, you received a membership. And let me play the membership song for you. Thank you, Denise. Where the heck is my membership song? Okay. Membership.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Denise. Okay. So that's Patrick Clancy. We'll see. He probably is with somebody else. I think they're just keeping it on the down low. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is TMZ. And Harvey was on this morning. I debated about if I was going to go online. I just said, Harvey is... Oh, gosh. Yesterday, Harvey was saying that the FBI is ghosting him. I'm sorry. Harvey just does not look to me, and this is just me, as the most credible person that there is, okay? And that's my opinion. He just does not exude truthfulness, okay? And especially when he wanted to really, he said that he wanted to make a documentary about this and stuff. I think he's looking out for himself and trying to make it seem like, oh, he's trying to find out Nancy. And I don't know, are they doing this themselves? But he said he got another ransom note, and the guy's saying, if you just give me the 1 Bitcoin, I'll lead you to whatever. He said that the people that are saying that Nancy's in Mexico are full of BS and stuff. Let me get his exact... I mean, I would like to just quote him accurately. A new demand letter, okay? So, let's see what it says, all right? TMZ has received another letter, another email from the person claiming to know the identities of Nancy Guthrie's kidnappers. And this time, he says he has a video of the main guy and Nancy the day she died. We have authenticated. The new email is from the same person, Harvey says, who sent us the previous one, because he references the old Bitcoin address, which matches, and then he had to give him a new one, as does his alias in the email, he says. He seems to scoff at the report. The FBI believes the person who wrote the email might be a woman. He goes on to say, I'm not the idiot who recently called in a tip about her burial site in Mexico. He claims there are 2 kidnappers. He has said previously there was more than one. Then he drops new claims. He says, I have a phone stashed, this is in a secure location, which guarantees both the information it stores and the safety of the phone. And he said, what it contains is my definition of delivering them on a silver platter. A short video of the main guy with Nancy the day that was probably her last. Pictures of both involved, names and addresses, and age. And then he claims the phone is in a location that is easy to access. If you know where it is, he said, he will ante up the password for 1 Bitcoin, and he gives a new Bitcoin address. So Harvey says they have posted their reaction to his demand, which is to say he should send us 1 screen grab of Nancy to authenticate his claim. And they said they have forwarded it to the FBI. Okay. What has happened from there? Let's see. I don't see that much going on. So who knows? New demand letter. So let's see if you guys heard anything about that. Let's see. Like them or not, TMZ has clout and the FBI well, the FBI ghosted them, according to Harvey. I don't know. Maybe. Okay. Money is way more than Bitcoin. What? Maybe that TMZ has the inside ear on Nancy's case. They don't. The FBI's not talking to them. They ghosted them. FBI ghosted. Harvey said yesterday the FBI's ghosted him. Okay. So that's that. Now I am going to go to another case here. And you might have heard of it, but I don't know if you've ever seen the Interrogation. But let me give you the background here first. Hold on. So I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to pull this over. Come on. Oh my gosh, I can't stand when this does this. To reopen this again. Oh.
Showers.
Do not make me scream. When? Tomorrow?
Yeah. Maybe it's New York City.
I don't think it's gonna.
Saturday, 8 a.m. You might get some showers.
Okay.
See, man.
What is this?
Go below us.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna scream tonight.
What happened, honey?
I need another monitor really badly.
What happened?
Nothing.
Oh,
It's just
monitor?
yeah. No, I need 3 monitors.
Oh.
No, I'm serious, Jimmy.
Why? What's
I
wrong?
do, and then this one, the stuff never opens right, and then I can't see the. This is the 3rd time I'm trying to download this thing over here. Okay, it's ridiculous. Just want to pull it over here like Mr. Rogers had picture, and it doesn't want to go. See, it's doing it again. It will not come all the way over. And so I can't get it to open up completely. I'm getting really fed up now.
What are you trying to do?
I'm
kid?
trying to get this on the screen completely. It's over here. See how it's half over here?
Yeah.
I've tried
it?
3 times already.
it? How do you even make it go back?
You can't. I just have to keep closing it down and reopening it.
Really?
It's ridiculous.
What about over here? Let me see. This is it right here, right?
Yep.
Can't even make it big or anything.
Nope.
What's the other thing?
It's high, it's up there. It's hidden. Up.
Relaunch to update.
No,
What do
no,
I-
no, no. Please don't do
I
that.
won't.
Please.
Okay.
Okay.
You can make it.
No, I
Can't do
can't.
this?
Mm-mm. Well, not. But it's not going to be the real thing. It's still going to be hanging out over here. You don't see.
No. Yeah, I see. Uh-oh.
All right. Let me do. I don't want to. I'm gonna have to shut this down again. Sorry. I'm going to try this again, guys. This is so dumb.
Try to do it in one fell swoop.
I did. It's just ridiculous. It's not even moving now. Hold on. Can I get over there? Oh, finally. Oh my gosh. Okay. So now I have to get back to pull up the chat over here, but then I won't be able to see the chat, which really annoys me. Okay. All right. What Nancy is she talking about? Which Nancy Guthrie. That was Nancy Guthrie. We are on to another case now. Be ready. Sorry. Jen, it was Nancy Guthrie. What other Nancy is there in the news right now? Nancy Guthrie. Another monitor would help me. Yes. Okay. So from the mound to murder, this is the downfall of MLB pitcher Dan Serafini. True crime with mommy ramblings. So this is Gary Spoor and Wendy Wood. They're both deceased now. Didn't end well for either of them. And so we're going to go through this whole case. But they were very wealthy. They had lots of money. They traveled all over. They had two girls. Erin was the daughter that married Dan Serafini. But we're going to get into that. Let me just pull up my thing here and tell you a little bit about Gary Spoor and Wendy Wood. Because they, back in the COVID times, right? Get this right here. I want to get to where they couldn't really entertain like they used to. They have this beautiful house, and they weren't able to do that. But I want to bring you back to the start of this before I talk about the end. So this is Dan. This is the daughter, Erin. Here's the parents. And Erin met Dan in 2006. And when Erin met Dan, she was 19. Okay? And she was in the equestrian stuff. And she was hired by Dan's then wife to come and train horses for them. Okay? So Erin was 19. Dan was 31, married with kids. Erin was hired by Dan's wife to train the Serafini's horses. And she testified in court that she didn't think of Dan in any kind of romantic way when she was 19 over there and he was 31. Okay? But then, 4 years later, she was in San Jose. She was in a dental school studying to be a dental hygienist. Her parents had paid for this tuition and all of that, yada, yada, yada. And then a friend calls her up and says, hey, guess what? Dan's getting a divorce. And so what does Erin do? She gets on a plane. She gets on a plane and she flies from San Jose to Reno to go on a date with Dan. Okay, so she leaves, goodbye, dental hygienist school. She wants to get out there, right? She wants to go with this Dan. So I think she probably had some romantic aspirations. Now this is 2010 because it's 4 years later. So 2 days after Dan's divorce is final, Dan and Erin get married on January 23rd of 2010. They don't have their big ceremony then. They get married the next year. In 2011, they have a barefoot beach wedding in Hawaii. Okay? So, yeah. Get over here where I'm getting my stuff. Okay. So now, here's some things you need to know. From the day that apparently they started dating, according to what Erin testified in court, they always had an open relationship. If Dan was away for months, which doesn't make sense, okay? Because I'm going to tell you something. Because Dan's baseball career ended in 2007. And according to this, they got together in 2010. So Dan would not have been away for months with baseball. But anyway, okay, she said that from the day they began dating, it doesn't make sense. So she lied here. She testified to this, and it is not true from the day they began dating, when Serafini was still playing baseball and spending months away from home, the couple maintained an open relationship that allowed them to have sex with other partners. It was kind of, this is her testimony, it was kind of don't ask, don't tell. My father cheated on my mom our whole upbringing, so for me, sexual things were just a little more fluid. She testified to this. Okay, so you've got to understand that part of it. And then you've got to understand that Dan's relationship with Erin's parents was one of contention, okay, from the start. It began when Erin dropped out of that dental school and squandered the tuition that her parents paid. And her mother was pissed about that. She wanted to sue Dan for that tuition money, okay? And then she wanted Dan to sign a postnuptial agreement, which makes it sound like that's why they tied the knot so fast. Maybe the parents didn't even know in that ceremony. But Wendy demanded that Dan sign a postnuptial agreement. And that was to protect the multi-million dollars of trusts that Gary and Wendy had set up for their two daughters. And Dan signed that postnuptial agreement. And that postnuptial agreement said that if he divorced their daughter, he would not get anything. He would not be entitled to any of that, okay? So, but this is going to be even more interesting. Another thing that Erin testified in court to is going to be right here. She said in court, I have probably been cut off by my mom about 30 times in my life, from when I was 18 to when she passed away. My mom would send emails and throw daggers. It would happen all the time. When I was younger, she would stop making a truck payment, stop making payments to college if I were in college, cut the phones off, cut the car insurance. And then when I was older, it was communication just completely cut off. Wendy also threatened to disinherit her a few times, and Erin testified to all of that in the trial. Now, after they got married, they settled in Reno, and Erin set up this equestrian center at their home. And, Erin admits her parents helped her a lot, okay? They paid for the couple's homes. They paid for cars. They paid for IVF treatments. They paid for school tuitions for the two sons they eventually had. They paid for family vacations. They paid for country club memberships. But that came with a price, because Erin said Wendy would control how the money was spent, and she would cut off communication for months at a time if they had disagreements. So in 2016, she and her husband, Dan, were at odds with the parents over the amount of $1.3 million in cash that Erin's parents gave to buy property. And listen to this one. Dan Serafini lashed out. I know I've covered this case before when this happened, but you probably don't remember. he lashed out at his father-in-law in an email. And this email was found on Aaron's phone by investigators. And he said this to his father-in-law. He said, "Take the effing house. But if Gary ever says F you to me again, I will knock him the F out." How's that for temper control? This is his final warning. And after another dispute with his in-laws in 2021, Dan wrote, "I'm going to kill the MFer one day." But he was still dependent on them. And prosecutors claim that Dan received a $70,000 check from Wendy to buy his dream car weeks before the couple was ambushed at their home. Now, it almost sounds like, too, remember that other one where that guy was writing texts, that's the guy in Ohio? But it wasn't about this. They didn't have this kind of money. So Dan's baseball career ended in 2007. So right there, that does not jive with the testimony given by Aaron. And in 2017, Dan was an equipment operator at a Nevada gold mine. Okay? All right. Let me see here. Let me go back to now the day. I want to tell you a little bit about their parents here. So back in 2021, after a long winter by COVID restrictions, Gary Spoor and Wendy Wood found themselves unable to travel, and they couldn't entertain friends at their $3.5 million home that they had built on Lake Tahoe. And that was for their retirement. On June 5th, day after my birthday, a lot of stuff happens right around my birthday, 2021, the couple was able to enjoy a day of boating. And they weren't just boating with anyone. They were boating with Aaron and their grandsons, 8-month-old and 3-year-old grandson. So they had 2 little boys by then, right? So they're having this great day in Lake Tahoe with the 8-month-old and the 3-year-old. And Erin's there. She brought the boys there, right? But then she says, "Oh, we got to cut our time. They're behind schedule. We have to cut our time short on the lake, Mom." But Wendy, who was 68 at the time, walked back to the house with her toddler grandson, and Gary, who was 70, he cooked dinner for everyone. And then Erin started to pack up the boys, and she got them in the family SUV for the drive home to Reno about 7:45 p.m. And then her mom hands her a check for a cool $90,000, and that's just a gift to help Erin build an indoor horse riding ring that she's dreamed of, right? And then Wendy and Gary go back into the house. "Oh, that was a lovely visit. Oh, I think things are going well," right? They're totally unaware that, as surveillance video would later reveal, there was a masked man that entered their garage hours earlier, and he was just lying in wait there, okay? An hour later, authorities say that intruder emerged from hiding and opened fire on the couple. Gary was shot in the back of the head and he died immediately. Wendy was hit twice in the head and once in the hand, but she survived. She dialed 911 and she wasn't able to speak, but the dispatcher knew the address for the call, and they got emergency personnel there and they rushed Wendy to a hospital. Now, Wendy had to learn to walk and write and all of that, and she did. She really learned how to do that. She even went hiking, right? And this is according to the other daughter, Adrienne Spoor, who was 35. She's the youngest daughter. She said her mother was amazing. But she said as her mom tried to get on with her life, she struggled. She struggled with depression and anxiety. And in 2023, she took her own life at an assisted living facility. And Adrienne said it was the heartbreak of losing her dad and not knowing who was responsible for their death. It became too much. Now, here's the thing. She did know who was responsible. Well, she felt she knew who was responsible. She felt it was her son-in-law. Okay, so Adrienne, the youngest daughter, said she felt like she had lost her right arm. And although she had suffered brain damage and could never remember the night, she was absolutely convinced that the intruder who fled from the scene was her daughter Erin's husband, Dan Serafini. So that's the thing. So then she ends up taking her life in 2023. And it would take police more than 2 years to gather sufficient evidence of Dan's involvement. But on October 20th of 2023, now here's where it gets a little interesting. Okay, this is the couple's house where he was lying in wait, right? And here's the daughter. And she was going to press conferences and things, and Dan and Erin were not showing up. Okay, here's this one here now enters, okay? So after about 2 years, October 20th, 2023, Serafini and an accomplice, Samantha Scott, the woman pictured right there, is a close friend of his wife's with whom he was having an affair. They were arrested. They were both charged with the murder of Gary and the attempted murder of Wendy. Okay, so I want you now, we're going to see an interview with this woman right here. Actually, 2 parts. Let's see. Let me grab them. Okay, part 1. Where are you? Part 1 here. Let me go in my file. Spore murder case, part 1. Yes, the youth pastor, I'll talk about him. He killed himself. Good night, Denise. Oh, the nanny. I see. What nanny is she talking about? Oh, this one right here.
Thank you.
I thought you said Nancy. This is in 2021, okay. Save her food. Where's her food? Where's Denise's food? One of these guys sounds like Graham Coder from the Chris Watch case. But it's not.
Alright. So, first things first, just some housekeeping. One, we appreciate you taking the time to make the decision to come and speak with us of your own free will. I think that's a wise decision, like I said. Your dad asked that if you want him here, if we can bring him up, then of course you just let me know.
I love
just
it.
in case, and we'll get it. If you need a break, you need water, a bathroom break, just let us know. We'll ask where that stuff is because we're not used to this place. But if you need a break or you want to stop, if you want to leave, you just let us know. We'll respect that. Okay?
All the doors are unlocked to get out. There's no
We're
locked
not-
doors.
We're not in a cell.
And this is recording me?
Yes. Yeah, we are being recorded. Okay?
And I think we talked about that earlier, and it just,
That's fine, I just wanna,
yeah, it just helps us, and then, that way there's no confusion on what I said or you said. And with that said, we're really interested with what you have to say.
okay, I'm happy to answer your questions.
Okay. So I would say we'll start with kind of some of the biggest questions that we have. I mean, there's a lot of, like I said earlier, there's a lot of details that we would like to know, things that only the people in that inner circle will know. We're on the outside looking in. But the really crucial things are when you took a trip to Elko, to Crescent Valley, and your phone left and went to Homewood and back, and you said that you were not with your phone. Can you explain?
I was with my phone, I went from the Red Lion Hotel,
Okay.
to Crescent Valley, and then, up there, and then I came back.
Okay. So you so you got there, you drove by yourself?
From the Red Lion, I drove by myself to.
How about to the Red Lion when you first went up there?
Yes, I was by myself,
And that was in your Subaru?
correct.
Okay. And you went to the Red Lion, and what happened next? You were going there
So
for
is
what
that,
reason?
just for clarification, is that June 4th? My memory.
I don't know,
So
honestly,
it's a Friday, Saturday, right?
I believe so, I mean,
Okay, so you drove up on what day? Friday?
Friday, correct.
Friday, okay. And then I actually missed what you guys were just talking about. On Saturday, you went to Crescent Valley and back? Is that what you mean?
On Saturday, I left the Red Lion, I went to Crescent Valley.
Okay. And what'd you do there?
In Crescent Valley. I was just there momentarily, and then I left and went to Tahoe.
You went to Tahoe? Did you see Danny there?
Yeah.
At the trailer?
Mhm.
Okay. And then you drove to Tahoe?
Mhm.
Okay. And what did you do in Tahoe?
I went to the little stores there. There's that public beach I went to for a bit, and then I went got dinner, and then I went back to the beach that's up there.
Did you ever go back to Elko
Afterwards,
afterwards?
yeah, in the evening.
Okay. And you were by yourself?
No, I went with Dan.
Danny went with you to Tahoe?
Dan went
Okay,
with
so
her
you
to
guys
Tahoe.
drove together.
Correct.
Did you drive or did he drive?
I drove.
The day they killed her parents. High
Was
speed.
he ever out of your sight?
Yes, I already went
And how
over
long
that
was
high.
I'm fuzzy on the time frame for how long ago it was. But when I went to the little stores, we split up. And
Mhm.
that's when I went to the little stores, to the beach, back to the stores to get dinner, back to the beach, and then back to the little store.
Okay. And so and we can go with an estimate time. What time do you think you separated from Danny on the
Okay,
Saturday?
are you guys understanding this? Are you guys understanding this? He is still married to Erin. They have an open marriage. Erin will testify. She doesn't care that he was sleeping with this person that was babysitting their kids and kind of being a nanny to their kids. She didn't mind about that because they have been in an open relationship since day one. It's fine. She's fine. She's used to that. It doesn't matter at all. I want to tell you that Erin is standing by Dan. I really believe, and I told you, I think when we first covered this, that I believe that Erin is involved up to her eyeballs in this, okay? First of all, it's very contentious with her and her sister. Erin is supporting her husband Dan there, okay, father of her kids. Aaron is fine, that he was having relations with this woman right here who was watching their children. She just happened to be, listen, up in Lake Tahoe in the same area as Aaron's parents' house the day that Aaron's parents were killed, and she was with Dan. I just want to make sure you understand this. That's what she just told them. She is in Lake Tahoe, June 4th, 5th, with Dan, going to these little shops, going to the beach, this and that, okay? So now hopefully you understand this now.
Was it late afternoon? Was it morning?
I would say it would be later afternoon.
Okay.
I mean, you take a
was
look
it
at
still
my
sunny
cell
out?
phone. Yes.
Okay. And then, about what time did you pick Danny up?
I want to say maybe 9:30.
9 or 9:30? And how did you know where to pick him up, or how did you guys...
Just at the little shops I dropped him off at.
Did he say what time he was going to be back, or...
No. I didn't know. I just
Yes.
went to get dinner.
Yes,
And then
Sandra.
I went, and, like I said, to the beach, and then when it got dark and
Okay.
it got cold because it's Tahoe, I went back to the shops.
Okay, and then you guys drove back to... After you picked him up, like 9-ish, you guys drove back to Elko
I drove back to Elko. I dropped him off at his trailer because he said he had to work.
in Crescent Valley.
Correct.
Okay.
Or check in at work. I'm not sure.
And we briefly touched on this when we were at your place this morning. And it does have some bearing on what's going on, but are you and Danny together, or is it a sexual thing, or just friends?
So we're friends. I mean, they're family. I'm very close with Aaron, and I'm very close with Dan. We didn't. Well, there's a recent flirtation going on, which I'm sure you'll see in my phone.
With Dan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not Aaron.
No, not with Aaron. We always joke around that we're like a throuple because he always complains that he has two wives because we're like,
Got it.
make us a drink and dinner and.
Yes, okay. So with all that said, I mean, and you know why we're here, and you've seen the video.
I honestly, so truly believe it's still, I don't believe they do this. And I understand you told me that you believe, or maybe I'm being manipulated into it. I don't know, I just don't see this of them.
Okay.
And what I was told was he was going to pick up a package, which is something normal I hear from him. So I didn't really
Have you
think
ever
too much of it.
taken a road trip with him before?
Yeah, but I've traveled to horse shows and that type of
Horse
stuff.
shows, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. That was actually
Okay.
it.
So what was the reason for the travel to Elko in Crescent Valley in the first place?
So originally he had asked me to go because he wanted to surprise Erin with a new truck. Because she had always had a Dodge, and he wanted to try and get her a Ford. And since I had traveled to all the horse shows and sit in the car with her a lot,
Hi, Sandra.
he was like, "Can you come home and pick something out you know she'd like?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool. I want to buy a truck one day. I'd like to go test drive everything I can't afford." And then I ended up breaking up with someone, and he was like, "Well, my friends on the paramedic team, they're having a party because someone's quitting or leaving."
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, "You can come up and party with us, and then we'll go do the trucks the next day."
Did you guys do that?
No, I
No.
was hungover, and then just didn't do that.
Do you remember what Danny was wearing?
Mm-mm.
She was hungover, but she drove home.
Do you remember what you were wearing?
No.
I make it.
These leggings, I wear them every day,
Okay.
basically.
Wears them every
I have
day.
10 of them.
Do you remember what license plate was on your car?
No, my old one, I don't remember what it is though.
When did you change it, do you think?
When I bought it from my dad.
Okay.
I've been buying it for the past couple of years from him. And so when we officially finished my payments to him.
So when you paid it off, you got the new plates on there?
And it's my horse's name, so.
Was that after this trip to Elko and Crescent Valley and Tahoe, or before that you paid it off and changed the license plate?
I think it was in process during that time already, because I like pre-ordered it,
Okay.
and then didn't realize it took like a month to get an appointment at the DMV.
Do you remember?
This is the nanny babysitter. Listen, she is very calm, cool, and collected, right? She's not like sweating it out. She's really calm, so she's probably a psychopath.
We're in Tahoe. I'm gonna write them down so I don't forget. What shops you went to or where you parked?
I don't remember
She
the
doesn't
boutiques.
remember.
I know one was like a bath bomb store. And there's like, it was a few in that shopping area.
Do you remember where you dropped?
Oh, you're going to hear why she remembers this is a bath bomb store, because this girl likes to take baths, and she gets a hotel room that has a jacuzzi tub, and she not only takes the jacuzzi that night, but she takes it apparently the next day. Of course, she would remember the bath bomb shop.
Dropped him off? So like if we looked on Google Earth
yes.
or map,
I think if you're thinking,
Just on that side there by all the little shops, kind of at the beginning.
if you're talking about the new documentary that the Rusaks
So did you guys come
worked
down
with them on,
267
yes,
or 89?
I know about that. Yes, of course.
Can you?
If that's the one you're talking about.
Did you go through the mouse hole through Truckee, through the mouse hole, and then?
I don't know. But yes, through Truckee, I guess.
Okay.
Do you know where they do all the river rafting and they kind of, you travel along the river and then it goes kind of right to Westlake,
Yes.
Sunnyside, and then left towards like Tahoe City where there's shops and things like that? Or straight rather?
I think on the river and then just to the shops. I don't know the area.
Do you know like there's,
Okay.
are there restaurants and things like that in the area where the shops were that you went to?
Small ones, yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you dropped him off where? Near
On the side.
on the side by the Y? Did he say where he wanted to get out of the car?
No, he just said he had to pick something up.
And what did you think he meant by that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay. So you dropped him off at about what time?
I'm not sure. In the afternoon, it was still sunny.
Still sunny, okay.
I don't know the exact times.
And then,
When I got there.
so you go to dinner, you go to boutiques, you go to the beach,
Mhm.
and then.
Can't remember which ones though.
How do you know exactly when to pick him up?
I didn't.
So did you just wait for him, or was he waiting for you?
I waited.
Where did you wait?
The same area,
No, I don't
Were
think
you in
that.
the
No,
parking
B
lot of a
lady.
business or parked on the side of the road?
side of the road.
And then did he just show up, or how did that?
I think they both played
Did
a
he have,
part.
did he have his
Erin and
phone with
her.
him?
Not that I am aware of. I don't know.
Have you ever seen him travel without his phone?
Not that I'm aware of. He's not really on it that much. So it's not what I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Did he, well, to back up real quick, what was the decision to go to Tahoe?
He asked if I would just drive because he had to pick something up and he was feeling hungover and I was there and I was like,
Well, he
"Oh,
was feeling
Okay.
hungover, but
I
I thought
would
she
like
said
to
she was feeling hungover a
drive
minute
and
ago.
Might be my friend. And
Did he have anything with him?
No.
Nothing like that?
Mm-mm.
Was there anybody else with you guys?
No.
Did you guys end up going and partying with any of his friends or hanging out with anybody else?
When I arrived Friday, I went to the Red Lion and he was already with his friends and he came back to get me, but they all decided to go home, so no.
Okay,
And I heard him on the phone with them and
okay. And then when you drove to Tahoe, it was just the two of you, there was nobody else in the car?
Just the
Correct.
two of us.
You had your phone when you drove to Tahoe?
correct.
Did you not have your phone at any time, or was it always with you?
I always had it.
Okay.
Has anybody ever used your phone?
I mean, people borrow it like a friend to make a phone call, but
No one knows your passcode or?
I don't know. I don't believe so. But I mean, it's my passcode for everything, so maybe.
Ah.
But I don't believe he took my phone.
So the phone shows going towards Homewood, did you go towards Homewood?
I don't know. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
know where
Do you want me to get a
Homewood
computer that would show a map?
Homewood is their house where they were murdered. The parents.
Do you hang out in Tahoe quite a bit?
Yes, I do, but usually incline. And then I go to Waterman's for the dog beach.
She doesn't know much of anything, really.
When you go to Incline, do you come up like Mount Rose, or what's the...
Typically
typical
Mount
route for you?
Rose, if I'm leaving from my house, if I leave from my parents, I'll go around sometimes.
Okay. Through
it's like-
Truckee or...
Yeah, it just depends, or if I go from a friend, it depends on where I'm living from.
Okay. And you don't remember anything about what Danny was wearing that day? If he was wearing shorts and a tank top, or if he was more bundled up? You said that it was kind of cold?
In the evening, yeah, it got a little bit chillier,
Okay.
but I believe it was pretty warm because I was hanging out on the beach for
Okay.
a while.
Okay. Did you have your dog with you or anything like that? No? Okay.
He doesn't travel.
He doesn't travel well? No? Okay. Have you talked to anybody about that trip?
No, not really. I called my sister on my drive home, and I was like, I had fun, like good partying and,
Yeah.
hanging out. But that's about all I can really remember.
Okay. And you guys drank in the hotel, or you went to a bar?
We went to a few bars in
A few
Elko.
bars.
Mhm.
Okay. And when you went to the hotel, that was in your vehicle, and Danny's truck was at his stayed in Crescent Valley?
No, he drove from the hotel to the bars.
Okay. So both your vehicles were in the hotel, because that's where you met at first? Okay. Have you ever been to Aaron's parents' house?
One time.
Okay. So referring to Homewood being the area where their home is, did you go to the area where their home was during that trip?
No, I was in Tahoe City area.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start out with, obviously Tahoe. So here's Interstate 80. So you guys came down 80, and then so I'm asking if you came down 267, and you can use the computer if you like, but into Kings Beach, or if you came down 89 directly into Tahoe City.
Directly into Tahoe City.
Okay. And then what I might do is just take some cell phone pictures of where we're pointing at, but try my phone to. So here's the new roundabout. Here's when you come in. Does that look all familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. So about where did you drop him off? We can zoom in and close some of this.
I'm going to play a couple of games of solitaire here, if you don't mind. I just want to loosen up a little bit, right? You probably. Then I think maybe if you can think of where it is.
So I think this is Fanning Bridge right here. So you typed in Fat Cat.
Yeah, because I
Okay.
walked past it
You
while I
remember
was
that?
going to the boutiques. I want to say maybe up here some. I'm not exactly sure, but the general vicinity, because I...
So you dropped him off and picked him up in about the same location?
Yeah, it was above where the shops are.
The shops.
I don't have...
Did your car stay there and you were kind of on foot and you guys met back at the car, or did you drive somewhere to meet him?
I left, and I got some fuel, and I drove like to the beach and stuff, so
Okay.
my car, I moved a bit. And then I want to say it was kind of after. I don't remember. I
Can't
So you think,
remember.
it was
by,
after
Having
like
a
kind
memory
of the
lapse.
boutique areas. I was walking around there.
Down by the wharf where you can kind of walk down and they have all the boats and all the different restaurants down there.
Up higher.
So I was up here walking, but I think I picked him up more up here.
Okay.
There wasn't too much. Or dropped off and picked up.
is there a reason you didn't text message him or anything when you were waiting for him?
No, he just said to wait, yeah, to pick up his package, and I said okay.
And did he tell you where you would be picking him up so that you knew?
He
Or
just
did
said
you
the same.
imagine where that would be just
He just
the
said
same
around
spot?
the same area.
And that's the same area you dropped him off?
Mm-hmm.
When you guys left Elko, did you guys ever call each other while you guys were both in the car?
While we were both in the car, no sir.
No?
I didn't call him from the car. On my way to Crescent Valley, I did talk to him on the phone. Or to Crescent Valley from the Red Lion.
Okay. And you had license plates on your car,
Correct.
but you don't remember which ones?
I think 95% they're the old ones. Because the new ones are relatively new.
Okay. And he didn't have anything with him?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a package when he got back in the car? If he went to pick up a package, did he have that with him when you picked him up?
Not a package, I guess.
What did he have with him?
So my theory is it was pocket-sized.
Have you talked to Danny today?
No.
How about Aaron?
No.
Mm-mm.
Can I ask who you've talked to today?
Yes. I've used my dad's phone only. He did leave to pick up my younger sister from school and then left to pick up my mom, and he took all the phones with him. So I have not left the house until we came here. I called before we called you, one of you, I think.
Yeah, it was me.
Before we called you, I called my boss on my dad's phone. Dr. McMullen left a voicemail to tell him I would not be in the office tomorrow. And then I called my friend Austin because we were gonna hang out tonight at my house, and I told him I was not going to be able to do that. And he said,
Getting
okay.
nervous now.
You didn't communicate with Aaron about picking up kids or anything like that?
You guys took my phone. I don't have her cell phone number, and I didn't write it down. I have the list if you want to look at that.
Okay.
I didn't have access to a phone. My dad wouldn't let me have access to a computer either.
Why?
So no, I did not contact anyone else. I did not contact anyone else. And I will not be in contact with anyone else.
So, unfortunately, remember the report that we read in my car?
Mm-hmm.
None of that matches to what you just said.
Which report?
The report that you read in my car?
With my cell phone?
Yep.
I was up at these shops. I got dinner at one of them. I got a pizza. And then I went to one of the beaches in the area, and I went to get gas. I went to get gas up. I had to drive pretty far because I couldn't find gas.
Couldn't find gas.
And I was worried about it. The gas station past the Safeway in Kings Beach.
Did you pay with cash or credit card?
I paid with cash.
So the digital evidence doesn't support what you're saying, unfortunately.
I
So
did. I
what-
had my phone the
so
whole time. I didn't talk to anyone else.
So you may have had your phone the whole time, but it also shows that you were farther down Highway 89, and it also shows that it was basically off from say like 8 o'clock on. So it was either powered off or you literally had zero communication, meaning no data, no text messages, nothing.
No, she doesn't have. B lady. This is not Erin. This is Erin's friend and Dan's friend and benefits and babysitter, nanny. This is not Erin.
I know I looked at the report with you. I mean, I saw dots around the lake, but I can show you which beach I went to.
Okay, and I don't doubt that you went to the beach. We talked about this before you came in here, that if it isn't the whole truth, it is not going to help you.
I understand that.
And so I feel that I drove all the way here to hear something that's untrue.
I think this is the beach I was at.
What's it called?
William Kent Beach.
Yeah, she's telling him conflicting stuff. It doesn't match up. She's lying.
Anything while you were there?
She's totally lying.
But you had your phone with you the whole time?
I had my phone with me the whole time. I didn't call Dan from my car. When he was in the car with me, we went down through Truckee.
Does Erin know that you went to Tahoe? Did Dan say don't say anything?
Mm-hmm.
She just messed up. I didn't call Dan from my car when he was in the car with me.
He just said not to say anything, that I was in Elko with him, because it was going to be a surprise, and I didn't bring anything up that we were in Tahoe.
Does Erin know that you and Danny stayed in a hotel room together?
But this is the beach I was at. I don't know.
So, did you think it was strange that it would take him so long to pick up a package, even if it were a small package that would fit in his pocket?
I guess I don't really know what it entails that he always does.
What are you hinting around? Is it drugs? Is it?
That would be my thought, but I don't know.
We're not the cocaine police.
Yes, that's what I believe the package was, and that's typically when he says package.
We've been super upfront with you, and if you feel like I'm being cryptic, please let me know and I'll try to expand. But now's not the time to say pick up the package.
Okay.
Package could be,
That was what I believed it was he was going to pick up cocaine.
Have you ever gone with him before to pick up cocaine?
No.
How would you be familiar that was the type of package that he would go and pick up?
Because I've heard him say it before, and I know he typically will have it afterwards.
Okay.
Have you ever seen him with a gun?
Yes.
When was that?
I've always seen a gun in their cars. I know he's had one on him sometimes. I don't have specific times. And we did go shooting on Sunday this week.
On this weekend that we're talking about,
This
June 5th.
past weekend.
Yeah, but on June 5th, did you see him with a gun?
I did not. I don't always see them, but I don't know. I know they have guns and carry guns. So, I don't know if he had one on him.
What did Danny tell you after this broke on the news and they were notified of their parents' death?
So I found out, I told the other detectives. One of my friends was there and called me and told me. I was shocked. I thought the dad was out of town still. I thought Gary was out of town. I never really directly asked because he always said, I didn't do that, and I don't believe that he would.
When would the opportunity have arisen for him to say that I didn't do that? How did that come about?
I go over there and have dinner with them. And so when it all at the beginning started, they had originally told me they suspected Cooper, and then they suspected Dan. And so he was like, he just in the house. Like, I wouldn't do that, you know, and I don't know. I've known them long enough where I know what you're coming from, what you're telling me, and what you guys have, and I understand. So but I don't know.
Okay. I don't buy that story whatsoever. So I'm not going to be cryptic whatsoever. I'm going to be super honest with you.
Liar.
I think you knew about it when, hold on, let me finish first, okay? And I'm being super honest with you. I think you knew about it when you drove down there. There's no way that you waited 4, 5, 6 hours without any telephone contact with him. No one's going to believe that. In fact, I'm going to talk to our district attorney and have a deep conversation with him about the craziness of this conversation and push for an arrest warrant for you to be arrested for homicide.
Wow.
Okay.
Hold on. Mark my word.
Mark 'em.
You are in a lot of trouble. This does not make sense. You need to tell us exactly what happened so I can tell the DA that you were reasonable. This is what happened. Maybe you got caught up. Maybe you had some part of it. Then you can own up to that. But if you want me to tell the district attorney that's your story, the end of the story is what I just said.
Yes, sir.
It's defying common sense, and it's defying digital evidence that we
And
have.
I understand it's awkward to talk about. I understand it's hard for me to tell you that. I mean, that's the last thing I want to do. You're young. You have a long life ahead of you. And I understand this is a big deal. And like, you're not a career criminal that we normally talk to and go round and round. But that's not believable. 100% not believable.
Okay. I left the Red Lion Motel, called Dan on the way, picked Dan up from Crescent Valley. He didn't have anything on him. We went to Tahoe through Truckee. I dropped him off. I did go to the shops. I did go down here to that beach.
Mm-hmm.
He told me to wait for him. I waited. He told
tell
me
you
to
to wait
wait.
at the beach?
Not at the beach. He told me to wait for him,
Okay.
and that he would meet me back up in that area where I dropped him off, and just to wait. And I waited. I mean, I didn't know this was gonna happen, and I waited. He asked me to wait, and I waited.
So
I-
the part that's hard to believe, and I want to hear what you have to say, but for example, I tell him to do stuff all the time, and he doesn't, and then he calls me, vice versa. Like, that's how people work together. You know, I don't just tell somebody, hey, meet me at Sparks PD, and not give a time frame, right? Like, it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make
He
sense.
told-
He told me to wait for him. I just
Okay,
waited.
if he told me, he's my boss. If he told me to wait 4 hours, after about 15 minutes, I'd probably text him and say, what's up?
If he didn't have, I didn't have his phone.
Is that weird to you that he didn't have his phone?
Probably I take my phone everywhere.
Yeah.
That's the worst day of my life. He took my phone.
And did he have your phone?
No, he did not have my phone.
So
I-
how do you explain your phone? Did you put your phone on airplane mode at some point because your phone stopped accepting information, receiving information during that period of time?
I turned my phone off.
Why would you do that?
Because I turned my phone off while I was waiting.
That's not true.
It is true. I turned it off.
Maybe while you were waiting, you do not turn your phone off at any other time that you've had that telephone.
That's not true.
That is true.
I've turned it off.
You may have turned it off, but what I'm saying is that the data communication always is on your phone.
You don't have to initiate. You got to understand, your apps they communicate,
Correct.
whether you do or not.
I know.
And we're looking at long history.
The only time that you've turned your phone off for a long period of time is during a homicide where you drove the suspect.
He didn't have my phone. I had my phone. I did not do anything
Did
to
he tell you to turn your phone off?
No. Yes. He did tell me to turn my phone off.
Okay.
Okay.
Samantha,
I'm sorry. I know.
Hold on.
Samantha,
Let's-
we're not judging you. This is scary, but you have to be honest.
I understand. And I am being honest.
Let's.
I went to
Hold
the
on.
beach.
I don't want to interrupt. Let's start over again.
Yes.
Okay. Let's start from scratch. Let's let everything go.
Can I have a break?
Of course.
Can you get my dad?
Yes. I'll get it for you.
Do you still have water there?
Can I have a refill, please?
Yes.
His name is Mr. Scott. He has on shorts and like a button-up white
Okay.
collar shirt.
Can we see one? Yeah, for her. Sam, you gotta be careful not to
I'm telling.
sit. I know you're telling part of the truth, Sam. You don't put yourself in a bad position by telling partial truths, okay? It just makes you look like a liar. When somebody looks at this, they're gonna think you're lying to us.
Okay.
So, okay, if there's things you don't know, don't guess about it. But the things you know,
You also have
You
to
need to
understand, you're trying to tell me my 2 friends of 5 years are manipulating me, but and you guys are
I'm
too.
sorry.
So it's a lot.
We're not
That's
trying
not
to-
true.
We're not trying to manipulate.
Really,
you.
that's why you're telling my dad more information than you tell me?
Well, I wasn't the one providing information to you, that was another detective. I'm just trying to, I feel like you're in a bad situation and that, I'm hoping that, it wasn't any of your will that put you in that situation. Does that make sense? I'm not trying to manipulate you at all. I mean, I want the truth, but we're just asking for the truth. We're telling you a lot of what we know, but it's not everything that we know. And so we need, during these interviews, we need to be able to verify the veracity of what somebody is saying. And so, of course, we don't show all of our cards, because if we tell you everything and then you regurgitate it back to us, then that looks bad. But nobody knows what was said or what happened between, during that trip, other than the people that were
Mr.
there.
Scott.
Yeah.
Moses?
Yeah, we got some water coming, so we got you and water. Oh, here we go. Take it.
Yeah.
All right. So, is it okay if I talk to both of you guys?
Mhm.
Are you covered with that? Okay. So we have a pretty close version of some of the stuff what happened. Not a lot of it's lining up. So if it's okay with Samantha, we're going to start from scratch and talk about what happened that weekend and hope that it lines back up with some of the digital evidence that we have. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Okay.
So, okay.
So she requested that you be here.
They told me they were gonna arrest me, so.
That's not what I said.
Well, he told me he was gonna push that I get arrested.
Yes,
So
I did say that. So, on the weekend that we're talking about,
Can I talk to her alone for a minute? I mean,
this
her-
room's recorded.
Can we step outside?
At this point, Sam, and he said that
Have
because
you read her rights?
No,
No.
she's not under arrest.
she's not under
No.
arrest.
And she's free to leave.
And here's the thing, the only reason that was said was because she provided us information that was not accurate and correct, well, but you changed your story right in front of us and told us you changed your story. So you can't say one thing and then change it to something else and say that the original version is accurate. We're just asking for the truth and not to withhold things and give us information that we know is inaccurate based on other evidence.
Okay.
Okay?
And you have to understand too, a lot of the questions we ask, I mean, it depends on the case, but
They know the answers.
we already know the answers. I mean, I would say it's in like the 70 to 80, sometimes 90% we know. We just want to hear it from you. So,
Oh, let's start over. I'm ready.
okay.
Do you want to talk to me first?
I don't know. I just, I want to protect her.
Yeah, I
Of
understand.
course. And this is not a typical type of support that we would offer somebody. We're doing this as a courtesy for her because we understand that this is difficult. This is out of respect for you. There's no other reason why we would do that, okay?
Okay.
And you said that you wanted that based on an inconsistency that.
Well, she's clarified that, and so we're like, okay, you told us version A, it changed it slightly to version B. Now we want to go back from the beginning and let's take out the misinformation.
Inconsistency.
So we're giving her a chance to start from the beginning and give us.
And what was,
I think we'll just start.
Let's-
I think we'll start fresh if you're okay with that.
Okay.
Do you agree to that?
Yeah.
Okay. So before the weekend, let's even back up a little bit further. Did you and Danny talk about you going to Elko?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that about?
He told me he wanted to buy a truck for Erin.
Okay.
Because she has the Dodge. It hauls better. It's not as comfortable to ride in. They were thinking about getting a Ford, and he wanted to surprise her. He asked if I wanted to go with him, and I said yes.
Okay. Was Danny working or?
From what I know, yes.
Okay. And so you drove up on Friday. Do you remember about what time?
I had an appointment that Friday. I don't remember the exact time. I want to say it was either noon or 2 it started, because I believe it's every other hour she
Okay.
starts. And then it was about an hour and a half long, and then I went up there.
Okay. And what did you do when you got to? Did you drive straight to Elko?
Yes.
And what did you do when you got to Elko?
Dan left me a key at the front desk. I got the key and went into the room.
Okay. And then what?
And then I called him, maybe texted, I don't remember. I told him I was there. He said he was just finishing a drink with his friends.
Okay.
And then he came and met me in the room.
In the room?
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened?
And then he was on the phone, back and forth, about if they were going to meet up and where they were going to meet up. But then they had to go home or be dropped off at home, something. And then we chatted in the hotel for a while, because like I said, I had just broken up with someone and he wanted to hear the whole story. And then we went to, in his truck, we went to a few bars in what I assume is like the main street or downtown Elko, I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was like a row of them.
And what happened when you guys were down at the bars?
We went back to the hotel.
Okay. And then you guys go to sleep?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what happens when you wake up?
So it was a suite. I stayed in the room and he stayed out on the couch. And then he was gone when I woke up.
Okay.
And he told me to call him in the morning or when I got up. And I called him. He told me when to come pick him up. And then I went
And that's in Crescent Valley?
Correct.
Okay. And
And I just made a stop before Crescent Valley at like Walgreens or CVS or something.
okay. When you guys talked on the phone, you guys obviously changed plans from truck shopping to what?
Correct. So I was headed over to his place to go truck. Well, he was supposed to come back. He didn't come back. So he said, "Do you want to help me pick something up? The package is what he says."
Okay.
And you know what I think. And I was like, "Okay, sure." Because what else am I supposed to do? And I'll go all day. And I had the room for a second night. And so I was like, okay. And so then he's like, "We're going to Tahoe." And I said, okay.
Okay. And so I think last time you said you drove your car. Is that still right?
Yes.
Okay. And I already forgot. You said the old plates?
Yes.
Okay. So you think it had the old license plates on it, the Ford Beasting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you drove to Tahoe,
Correct.
and we looked at a map, and you think you're pretty confident we went 89
Mhm.
and not 267, so through Truckee
Through Truckee.
into Tahoe City.
Correct.
And then what happened when you guys got to Tahoe City?
I dropped Dan off.
About where?
By the shops, and then I went and looked, and I got gas right after. So I dropped him off, and I got gas.
In the shops, you identified one business, you said by Fat Cats.
So I remember because I was walking past, and I just remember Fat Cat because
So
I was right
somewhere
there.
So-
near there.
Somewhere around that area.
So before you dropped him off,
Mhm.
did he tell you what time to turn your phone off?
No.
Did he just said randomly turn your phone off?
No, he had asked me to turn it off earlier.
And did you?
I thought I did, but I did not.
And did you realize that your phone was on, or how'd that work out?
Yeah, I realized it was on when I was looking through my glove box.
Okay. So he just takes off on foot.
Mhm.
He tells you to turn your phone off.
Mhm.
And then about how long was your phone on before you realized?
I don't know. I thought I turned it off when we were passing Winnemucca, maybe. So I thought it had been off, but it was not.
Which way did Danny leave from where you dropped him off?
So I was Driving.
So if you're looking at the lake, did he go to the right, like towards the Y, or did he go to the left?
He went to the right.
To the right.
If I'm looking at the lake.
Did you remember what he was wearing?
I'm sorry, I don't. I don't think it was shorts, because I don't ever really see him wear shorts. But I don't remember what he was wearing.
Okay. And then where did he tell you to wait?
The same area I dropped off in. He just told me to kind of check.
So that's the shops area? Or was it William Kent Beach?
No, I went to William Kent Beach to hang out. And I went then to the shops, and I went back and had dinner at William Kent Beach, just because it's easier to park at than.
Where did you eat at?
I've not been there.
Oh, gosh.
Can we look at the map?
Oh, yeah. You take cash? Yeah. No receipt? No.
Yeah. Let me go get the password. I'll take it.
You okay? Thank you for being truthful. Everything that you're saying at this point right now is lining up.
Do you know where the?
It's a good question. I see the lake.
Our shore market's right up above Kent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good sandwiches.
But they really redid that place.
Oh, did they? When? Summer?
No, maybe 3 summers ago. I remember stopping in there, and it was in pretty poor condition. And then the next year it was.
So I believe this is where that bath shop was that I told you. This was closed when I was there.
So Tahoe.
It's not where I went.
You can drop into Street View too if you want.
They were closed.
So you're talking about near the Pioneer Cocktail Club?
Yes, but that's not where I ate either.
What kind of food did you eat? Do you remember?
It was a pizza. I think it might have been here.
Rosie's?
Yeah. They had little tents set up out front.
Yeah, they have like a porch that comes like right down to the road.
Mm-hmm. And it had a tent over it when I was there.
Okay. And then do you remember where you picked him up at?
Relatively that same area that I dropped off at, which was around those shopping areas.
And were
Which is why I
you just
kinda-
there waiting and you saw him walk up and join you, or
Mhm.
did you meet at your car, or?
I saw him and I met him.
And you said that you didn't recall him having anything with him?
No.
Did he, and you said that you were assuming it was a small package, so it wouldn't have been a package that you could see, is that correct? Okay. Did he have anything that you could have carried a package in?
He had a small
Did he have a
package.
handbag or anything with him when he was walking, when he left you?
Mm-hmm.
Handbag.
Did he have any luggage in your vehicle that he loaded up when you picked him up in his trailer?
I brought water.
Just water?
Mhm.
Okay.
Because I did. So when I got fuel, I got some water.
When you were walking around, when you were wearing a mask, when you were walking around in Tahoe?
When I was at the shops, yes. Not at the beach.
Okay. And then how about Nanny? Was he wearing a mask when?
I think he had one, towards one of the black ones because I have them in my car.
So, I think what I'm understanding, and please correct me if I'm wrong, you are thinking this trip is about picking up cocaine,
Yes,
and that's why he doesn't bring his cell phone,
yes,
and that's why you shut your phone off,
yes.
because he's picking up.
He just said he was getting a package. He didn't tell me explicitly anything. I
Okay.
just have always related when he says that to, that's what he ends up having.
And then once you pick him up, what happens?
We leave.
Did he say anything?
No, he said he just ready to go back, and I said okay. He's asked me how my day was, and I saved some of the pizza for him, so I gave him some of the pizza.
And where did you go from there?
Back the same way through Chucky.
Okay.
And then where?
I dropped him back off at his trailer, and I went back to the Red Lion.
And you stayed there that night?
Mm-hmm.
So about how many hours of that is driving?
For me driving? I don't know, it takes about 4 hours, I think, from here to get to Elko, and then maybe extra 30 to get to his trailer.
So maybe 9 or 10 hours of driving
Yeah.
to pick up a package?
Yes.
And you said that he's never asked you to go with him to pick up a package, cocaine, in the past?
Not in the past, no.
Okay. And you guys, and that day, you guys were both too hungover to go shopping for a truck?
Well, so
But-
when I called him before I left the Red Lion, he said he was too hungover and he didn't want to, and I was like, okay, sure.
But then
Drank a lot.
instead of driving close by to look at a truck, what the original plan was, you guys drove 4.5 hours all the way to Tahoe?
So he had, or I guess close by, I didn't think we were looking at a truck when we went to Tahoe.
No, I know, but that was the original plan, and because of how you guys were feeling that day, the next day.
That was the second time we had gone up there to look at a truck, so.
Did you know that Erin was in Tahoe?
Yes, actually, I did because she had invited me to go on the boat with her parents.
But Erin didn't know that you were with Danny?
No, because he told me not to tell her about the truck. Which is what, it was the second time and we had gone up there. And then, we had talked about it after, this, and he's like, we gotta go look at that truck, and then they ended up buying one from Texas anyway.
So after all this kicks off, and you know that, obviously people are asking, we're asking you about Danny, and if you went there, and not us personally, but when other detectives knocked on your door, unfortunately you were dishonest with them.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I already knew you guys thought it was Dan, and I really don't believe it's him. And he had said you guys already think he's a drug dealer, so I didn't really want to add that to the resume. So I thought it would just be easier to not.
Okay. And after us showing up this morning and serving a search warrant on your apartment, do you still think the same thing now, or what's your professional opinion of what's going on?
I think, like I told Scott, my professional opinion is it's hard for me to believe that my close friends of 5 years would do something like this, A, and B, manipulate me into being a part of it.
Yeah.
And you guys are trying to tell me that, which is hard for me to believe because I do trust them and I love them and I am close with them. And I think you guys are trying to manipulate me into believing otherwise as well, so I'm kind of in a hard spot of people I know for 5 years and people here, and not to be overly political, but police are known to lie to people a lot and to try and end up getting what the result you guys want. So I don't believe they. In my heart, I don't think they did, but I don't know what to think. So, and knocking on my door and telling me a few things for a few hours ago is a lot to process too.
Yeah, that's pretty heavy. I get it. It's a handful.
It's a handful.
This is certainly not political, and we're not lying to you.
Yeah, but that's, you know what I mean? You have to understand where I'm coming from with that too. I mean,
I understand. We knock on your door, you've never met us before, and you think we're lying to you.
Do you know any cops? Do you hang out with any cops? Okay, yeah, so, I mean, it's a view from the outside of how we do our job. You really don't know, except for probably what you see on TV, which is sensationalized. And we're looking from an outside view on this relationship between Aaron and Danny and you and Aaron's parents and this homicide. And so we're kind of in the same boat on the outside.
Oh, you guys asked her what she thought.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I respect that. That's your opinion based on, you never dealt with us, so you don't know how we operate.
and that's saying you've never dealt with me, you don't know how I
Yeah,
operate, and
yeah.
me sitting and waiting for hours and thinking that's okay is just kind of who I am.
Yeah.
Like, Erin asks me to go pick up a horse for her in Wyoming, and I will go pick up a horse for her in Wyoming. Like, it's just how I am. I don't know.
And when you tell me that, I believe you. I believe that's how, when you're telling me things that I don't have hard facts that, are contradicted, I feel like I can tell when you're being honest, okay? And so I believe you when you say that.
Okay, let's look at part 2, which is a little shorter. Part. Wait a second.
I
So,
don't know.
well, so from 1,000 feet, that's a little bit hard. I believe your second version, I think, is way more accurate than your first. But, riding with somebody for 4 or 5 hours from one location to another and him not explaining anything, just saying that he wants to pick up a package. And if that truly, you're right, I don't know you. And if that truly is your personality, that you would, it sounds like you would do a lot for your friends. So that's a great quality, but sometimes it obviously can get you into trouble too. Is there anything that you should tell me about your phone before we download and look inside of it?
I don't believe so. I think
That I should be
already
aware of.
told you at the beginning.
I don't want to be shocked tomorrow.
I think I already told you at the beginning.
What do you mean by flirty?
It's gonna be questionable in your opinion.
We see a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's just, I guess, I don't know.
Like what?
Like he'll send me porn videos,
Okay.
flirting type stuff.
What about like pictures of him?
No.
Pictures of you?
No.
Okay. So that's not that bad
Okay.
from what we normally see. Anything else? Because tomorrow we're going to open your phone up.
Mhm.
And again, like I said, I don't want to be like, dang it.
I think that would be what you would see. That's probably the worst thing on my phone.
Okay. Did Danny ever tell you what to say if we came and knocked on your door?
Mm-mm.
What did you tell Danny after our partners knocked on the door and they left?
Just what they had asked me.
And what did he say?
He said okay, and then when they asked me to come in, I told him, and he told me I didn't have to give a statement originally.
Was he in the apartment with you at that time?
No.
Were you talking with him on the phone?
When?
How did that conversation happen with when they asked to come in and he told you that you didn't have to let them?
Well, no, he afterwards, after I talked to them,
Okay.
he said, because they asked me to come talk to them again, and he said I didn't have to.
This next question, please think carefully before you answer. Did you guys take, or did you or Danny take the license plates off your car?
Off when we drove?
Yeah,
No.
your car.
No, it was my license plates were on my car the whole time. They've been on my car.
Okay.
When you change your license plates from your old license plates to your new ones, who did that?
I did.
And did your vehicle have 2 license plates before? And does it just had one, a rear plate or a front plate?
Just the rear plate.
Just the rear plate, and now
Just the rear
just
plate.
a rear plate?
It doesn't have the stuff in the front.
It was my car before,
Okay.
and I went with her to change it.
Okay. And I certainly don't want to go backwards in our conversation, but is there any chance that you stayed in Crescent Valley and he went by himself?
No,
100% you drove him there?
I was there.
Okay.
Danny's cell phone, he mentioned to us that after the homicide, you got him another cell phone.
Mhm.
Can you tell us about that?
He asked me to get him another one because you guys had his. And he told me he told the lawyer, and the lawyer told you guys about it when I got it for him, just because he wanted a phone to use. And he told me he would pay for my cell phone bill if I added him to it. I said, cool.
And so you added a second line to your plan, and he's been paying that bill? Okay.
What do you think?
Bad judgment?
Have you, other than Danny, have you talked to anybody about this since the homicide?
I don't know. I mean, like, I've been there when Aaron and Dan have talked about, like, how her mom's doing, and, like, Adrian and that type of stuff, but, I mean, I talked to my mom about it.
Okay. And nobody's given you advice on, other than Danny saying that you don't have to let them in? Has Danny given you, or anyone given you any advice about
He
what to
didn't tell
say
me
to
I didn't
us?
have to let them in. I didn't let them in my house because I don't want people in my house. My parents are not invited typically into my home, so which is why I didn't let them come in, and I did talk to them.
Okay.
He just said when they called me and asked me to meet them again,
Okay.
I didn't have to.
And at that time when they came to talk to you, the Mr. Spohr, the victim of homicide, his vehicle was at your apartment complex,
Yes.
and you had been driving that vehicle?
So my car got hit a couple of times in the parking lots at my office, and so it was getting worked on, and so I took their Subaru for a while originally, and then
Is that the blue Subaru?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then they took the Subaru back because they had a new nanny for kids, so the nanny used it,
Okay.
and they told me I could take that one in the meantime. And then Matt came, their cousin, to sell it, and so I dropped it off, and it was like the last couple of days before my car was ready, so I was on my bike after
Okay.
that.
What shop was your car having body work done?
Lithia.
Lithia?
Mhm.
Okay. And it was in there for how long of a period of time?
It would be on and off. My friend works for them, so he would come pick it up and work on it for a bit and bring it back. And then it was almost a full week when it got the tailgate replaced.
Okay, and that was the time you were driving Gary's Audi?
Car, yeah. I think I drove it maybe 2 weeks between.
Okay. Did you have any reservations about driving
Yeah, mostly.
in light of
Yeah.
knowing that Danny had been accused and now they have the murdered person's car and they're giving it to you as a vehicle to drive?
My hesitation was that it's just a really nice car. It's, nicer than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they let me borrow their trucks if I need them.
Okay.
If I take her kids to school, I'll use her car.
Okay.
I've used her car a bit. So it's not weird that we kind of play car relay sometimes.
Okay.
It's just that one was just nicer than I'm
Okay.
used to.
Okay.
And the bike in my house is my dad's bike.
Okay.
They asked me about that.
I don't know why.
The last detectives asked me if I had Gary's bike.
Because it's a nice bike and I built it, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Anything else about that trip that is coming to mind that you think for us to know. Okay. And nothing via phone records, this other phone that Danny had, he's the only one that uses that phone. That was never your phone.
Mm-mm.
It was just him using it.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have another phone, just the main phone that we took today.
No, but am I gonna get that back, or can I go get a new phone?
At some point, you're gonna get it back, but because we seized it via a search warrant, the court has to approve the release of it before we can return the phone.
So I can go get a new one though, or?
Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't expect you to be without a phone, and I'm sorry that we're gonna have yours for a period of time and that you won't have access to it, but yeah, I would if I were you. I would, as much as I would like to not need a phone, yeah, I understand you need a phone, so. Have you had any conversations with Erin about any of this? No. Has she, I mean, she lost her dad, she almost lost her mom. Does she cry on your shoulder about stuff like that? Is your relationship different than that?
She'll share frustrations of stuff that's going on with her mom. But I try not to. I feel like that's what she deals with all day, so
yeah.
I don't want to add to it.
Okay. Okay.
Mostly talk horses.
Okay. You said that you have seen Danny with guns, you've seen Erin with guns, like, so when he's like driving around, you said he'll have a gun sometimes?
I've seen like it in the console of the car, not so much in Erin's car. I've never seen it.
Okay.
I don't know if she does have one in it or doesn't, but not that I knowingly can remember seeing.
In the console of what car?
In the truck most recently,
Okay.
a couple weeks ago.
The
white truck.
The white truck that he has now, you've seen a gun in the console of that truck. What type of gun?
I don't know, small.
Okay.
I literally held my first gun on Sunday, so I don't know.
And you shot that? Is that the gun that you shot that he took you out to shoot?
Mm-mm.
Okay. It was a different. What type of firearms did you guys shoot when he took you out to shoot?
A handgun. It was heavier. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know the size.
Okay.
Someone picked up the shells though.
Okay.
So
it was what we call semi-auto, where when you shoot, the bullet casing ejects and then he picks those up off the ground. Not like a revolver where you have to open it up and empty the shells out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Where did you guys go to shoot?
By the dump in Carson City.
Okay, is that a place where people go to shoot?
It's a shooting range.
A shooting range, okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, like an indoor or
Outdoor.
Outdoor shooting range. Are there like attendants there and you have to pay a fee and you go up to a line and...
one attendant, but we didn't pay him. He was just kind of supervising, and they have like a long range and then
Okay.
the short one.
Okay.
We went to the short one, and there was like, you had to do a $5 and Dan did the envelope and put cash in.
Okay. And was it just you and Danny, or you, Danny, and Erin? Who went with you?
Just Dan and I.
Okay. Do you guys do stuff, just the two of you together, quite a bit?
Not too often, but sometimes.
Okay. And you and Erin do stuff together, just the two of you? You
Right.
guys are, would you describe the three of you are just kind of best friends, all three of you?
I mean, I'm close with Erin, and then Dan is just there and always, not always, but sometimes fun.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So getting back to that cell phone data that you saw, the path that went, obviously the trip that you described to us, but then your phone also shows that it goes up to Homewood, to the scene of the homicide. And you said that you had your phone and that you did not go up there.
I went to that beach, and then there's a path off that beach.
Is that beach towards their house?
I think so.
Okay, so that's probably what that was your trip up to the beach.
Because I drove, because there's the parking where the boutiques are.
Mm-hmm.
I was just concerned, because you can't park in the boutique area if you're not in them, and I didn't want to get my car towed, and then I didn't know what street parking,
Right.
And then that little beach is just really small.
Right.
And so I drove up, and there's that other beach.
So you drove from Tahoe City, if you're facing the lake, to the right, the same direction that Nanny walked.
Mhm.
You made a left at the Y, towards like
around
Sunnyside,
the lake.
around the lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's
what
like a boat place.
Yeah.
And there's that walking path.
Okay. Okay. And you parked. Where did you park?
By the park, the beach.
Okay. Okay. And then you didn't see Nanny at all in that area while you were there. You just hung out at the beach, and you just sat at the beach and enjoyed the lake. And when you were done, you got back in the car and went back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Did you go any further up the lake?
Yes, to the gas station.
The further towards
Kings Beach.
the opposite direction, towards
Oh.
Kings Beach.
The opposite?
Yeah.
I just a bit maybe down the walking path there because there's the park and the path.
Okay.
And I would drive back up to the boutiques and then back to the beach and
Okay.
walk down a bit. And
So you're at the area where you dropped Danny off. If this were the lake, and let's say this is the Y that goes towards where this board home is, right? Goes around the lake, and then this way would go towards Tahoe, and up here is Tahoe City, right? And then Kings Beach is further up. So you're at the shops, you drop off Danny, he heads this way, you go into some shops, you said that you got gas. Tell me, like, which direction did you go and kind of in what order?
I think I started that way to get the wrong way to get gas. Or maybe I can't remember which way I started because getting fuel was the first thing I needed to do.
Okay.
Um,
So after you dropped him off, you didn't get out and go to the shops, you went to get fuel first?
Yeah,
Okay.
and I remember thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know where a gas station is up here.
Okay.
And then I think in Kings Beach, instead of going to that gas station I ended up going to, I went up a little bit to try and find one, and I didn't find one.
Okay. And then, but at some point, the beach that you're talking about, for sure, you went the opposite direction, like you're going back towards Truckee, and made a left around the lake and went to that beach over towards Homewood, where...
I know I went to that beach over
beach.
there.
Okay.
Because it's a public state park, they have a little volleyball court right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that's helpful.
And I think it's near that, like I said, I think there's a boat place across the street somewhere around there.
Okay. And then you kept your phone off until what point? What made you turn your phone back on?
When I headed home. They had a jacuzzi tub, so I took a jacuzzi tub bath and watched a movie.
At the hotel?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And that's when you turned your phone back on, you watched a movie on your phone?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that was the first time you used your phone before you headed back?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay. And again, you dropped Danny off because he had work, and then you went straight back to the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
and then stayed the night, watched a movie, and then the next day, what happened?
I slept, I took a bath, and then I came home.
And how did you drive home?
I-80,
Okay.
right, yeah.
Did you know Danny's status, if he was traveling at that time, or was there any communication with him?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Did he say when he was going home, or?
I thought he was gonna stay a couple more days.
Okay.
So I didn't really know, because from what I know his shoulder maybe was injured still,
Okay.
or already. And he had to go to work to like check in and do stuff.
Okay. When was the next time you went out to Aaron and Danny's?
The following day, maybe.
So the day after you got home,
Uh-huh.
the following day.
Mhm.
Okay. And what was that trip about?
Check on horses, and I checked on her because I see how she was feeling,
Okay.
and then I left.
And so you knew at that point what had happened. When did you first find out?
On my drive home from Elko.
And how did you find out?
One of the girls we ride horses with, Abby, she called me and told me
What did Abby say to you?
that she was just finishing up a lesson or something, and that they came and told her, or told Aaron, and so she was trying to help with Grayson, and then Dan got there or something.
Okay. All right. Serafini. Oh, there it is.
Thought of a couple more things. The whole drive, did you guys pay cash or did you ever use a credit card?
I don't believe I used a credit card.
So you guys had to fill up once? Or no, twice? I don't know what kind of mileage you get.
Just once, Kings Beach.
Okay. And then, I'm not a very good financial investigator, so I already forgot what you said. This morning you were talking about
The horse trailer?
yeah, it's all on Venmo or something, so that's all. So
So-
what's the,
What you'll see, which when you told me, so she sold one of her horse trailers, and the people had USAA, which I have USAA, so they transferred the funds to me so they could take the trailer home. They transferred a couple of different times out of both their accounts. They got husband and wife.
One from each account.
Yeah, because there's a limit, and so they transferred.
$1,000 a day on Sally.
So they transferred it to me,
How
and then
much?
the next day, I don't have my phone. I know the limit from both accounts twice, so maybe 4,000,
Okay.
and then I Venmoed it to her, to Erin when I had it.
I got it, okay.
So 4,000 total,
Yeah,
approximately.
Mhm.
Okay.
and then yeah.
Okay. What do you think?
It doesn't really matter what I think, I guess.
Oh, it does.
What do you think about what?
What's going on? Like, how do you feel? What do you think?
I mean, I'm still, I guess, feeling the same way as I said earlier about what you tell me and what I know and what I think, and I don't know. I still think, I mean, these are people I've known for a long time, and I don't see it. But what you're telling me, I don't.
Okay, so now let's talk about what happened with her. Can you hear me? Let me make sure you can hear me.
I didn't want to get my car towed, and then I didn't know street parking, and then that little.
Trying to make sure you can. Can you hear me? Just put up a 1 if you can hear me. So I know you can hear me. Because my resolution here is too. All right, let me get to the end here. I'm going to try that again. Okay. I can tell here maybe.
What I think, and I don't know. I still think, I mean, these.
That's my. Okay, good. I can hear her. You don't have to worry about putting up 1s. Okay, let me tell you, she got a plea deal. So this is Samantha Scott. I'm going to tell you about the plea deal she got here. Samantha Scott. All right. Do you know, you guys, she was sentenced this March. The woman who pled guilty to being an accessory for aiding a former MLB player in the Lake Tahoe area on the deadly attack on his in-laws was sentenced to probation on Monday. This was March 16th of 2026. Just a few months ago. And it says that Samantha served as a nanny to Dan Serafini and his wife Erin Spore's family. Later, she became a lover of Dan. She admitted to giving Serafini a ride to Nevada after he had laid in wait and ambushed his in-laws on June 5th, 2021. It wasn't until 2023 that investigators arrested Serafini and Scott in connection with the shooting that killed Gary Spore and severely injured Wendy Wood, who would later take her own life despite having made a recovery. The recently released video showed Scott, which you just saw, okay? This was recently released, deliberately lying to investigators months after the shooting. This was in November, okay? The shooting was in June. And you see her father coaching her a little bit there. Didn't you see it when he gave a place that she could say she ate for sandwiches? And I believe he was chiming in about the money situation, $1,000, yada, yada. Okay, and he wants to protect her. That's what he said. Now, mark my words, you're in a lot of trouble, the detective said, right? This does not make sense. You need to tell us exactly what happened. She eventually told the detectives that Dan confessed to her that he shot his mother-in-law, and she received a plea deal for her testimony during his murder trial, where a jury convicted him of murder and attempted murder. She was sentenced that Monday in March of this past year, just a few months ago, and she acknowledged the fact that she lied to investigators and stated that she let fear and misplaced loyalty cloud her judgment. And she said she was ashamed of the decision. She said, I'm going to quote her now, "I take responsibility for my actions, and I do not blame anyone else for the mistakes that I made. I also want to say my heart goes out to the victims and their families. I cannot undo what happened, but I truly wish that I had acted differently when I had the chance, because I know that I caused the victim's family more pain." And then she continued, "I am deeply sorry to the families affected by this case." Now, Adrienne Spohr, the victim's daughter, spoke about the lasting impact of her father's murder and her mother's attempted murder, urging the court not to be lenient. And Adrienne said, "My mom should have never had to endure that summer, and my dad should not have lost his life. And yet, Samantha Scott still gets to live hers. Less than 2 years in prison is not enough. House arrest with the ability to travel within 150 miles is not accountability. The radius allows vacation, leisure, and freedom. My parents had none of that. In the end, the judge ordered Scott to serve 2 years of probation, saying that while he was exceedingly troubled by her conduct, he believed her testimony on the stand was credible. Scott's attorney also asked that she be allowed to return to her home in Nevada with the condition that she remain in contact with her probation officers. As part of her sentencing, the judge presiding over her sentencing said, "Scott is forbidden from any contact with Serafini." Serafini, for months, tried pushing for a new trial, claiming both jury misconduct and ineffective counsel, and a judge denied his request. So now we're going to talk about Serafini now. So she got a plea deal. She spent, 2 years on house arrest, and then she was, there she is there. She really changed from there for, 6 months, huh? Wow. Okay, and let me see, do I still have more? Okay, I do. Then he was arrested, right? And there's his mugshot. So let's talk about him. Okay, in July of 2025, he was found guilty of murder. So it's less than a year ago. Hold on, I'm just trying to pull this up and it's being a little jerk. Okay. So the Placer County jury found Daniel Serafini guilty of murder and attempted murder of his in-laws in the Lake Tahoe high-profile case. In 2021, first responders received a call from a home in Tahoe City where they found Gary Spoor deceased and Wendy Wood gravely injured from gunshot wounds. During the investigation, detectives determined that Dan Serafini was responsible for the horrific attack on his in-laws. After an extensive investigation by the Placer County Sheriff's Office and the Placer County District Attorney's Office, Serafini was charged with first-degree murder, attempted murder, first-degree burglary, and other charges and allegations. The guilty verdicts came after a 6-week-long trial, during which the jury heard testimony from dozens of witnesses and the presentation of physical evidence along with digital, cell phone, and other forensic evidence. The case was prosecuted by the Assistant Chief Deputy District Attorney Rick Miller, and the victim's family was supported by the Victims Services Unit. Then let's talk about his sentencing. So he's found guilty, and I'll tell you his sentence. He was sentenced to life in prison. So let's see. He was sentenced on February 27th, 2026. I don't know why it's so late, but he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Maybe we again talked about it back in February, because we talked about this a bunch of times. Serafini, 51 years old, was convicted in July of 2025 of his first-degree murder of his father-in-law, Gary Spoor, and the attempted murder of his mother-in-law, Wendy Wood, and first-degree burglary. Now, Spoor was killed, but Wendy Wood survived. She took her life a year after the shooting. Placer County District Attorney Morgan Geyer said in a statement Friday that Spoor and Wood were loving grandparents and that Serafini's crimes greatly impacted family members and friends. The impact of this attack has extended far beyond the immediate victims, deeply affecting family members and the broader community and highlighting the lasting harm caused by deliberate violence. Serafini's attorney did not leave any comments. During his sentencing hearing, Serafini addressed the court and maintained his innocence. He said he was out partying with his wife that night of the shooting and described himself as a broken, imperfect man that makes mistakes. Okay. Serafini was drafted by the Minnesota Twins in 1992 in a career that spanned 11 years. The left-handed player for the Chicago Cubs, San Diego Padres, Pittsburgh Pirates, Cincinnati Reds, and the Colorado Rockies. Prosecutors said Serafini hated his wife's wealthy parents and was heard saying he was willing to pay $20,000 to have them killed. Prosecutors showed jurors transcripts of angry emails and text messages between Serafini and his in-laws. During the 6-week trial, Serafini's attorney, David Dratman, argued that there was no physical evidence linking his client to the crime scene. Dratman told the jury that although Serafini had a rocky relationship with his in-laws, he didn't have a motive to kill them. After his conviction, Serafini filed multiple motions for a new trial, but they were all denied. Serafini will serve his sentence at the California Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation, according to the Placer County District Attorney's Office. Okay, and so I just want to go over one more thing about, because I do believe Erin had a part in this, okay? So let me tell you about a little bit about her testimony and how she stands behind her husband, okay? Alrighty. Erin Spoor, the wife of former Major League Baseball pitcher Daniel Serafini, wrapped up a second day of testimony in the ongoing murder trial where Serafini is accused of shooting his in-laws in Lake Tahoe. Her appearance on the stand raises questions about her loyalties and the credibility of another key witness, Samantha Scott. During opening statements, the prosecution argued that financial struggles and family tensions served as the motives for this crime. Spoor testified that while there were arguments, the family always reconciled, conflicts never turned physical, and she didn't believe any of it was enough for Serafini to commit murder. As part of her testimony, Erin Spoor said she supported Serafini's plans to write a book to cover legal expenses, saying she was even in contact with some publishers on his behalf. She testified that the book was meant to chronicle his baseball career leading up to the 2021 events. Spoor also cast doubt on the testimony of Samantha Scott, a former close friend of hers who became romantically involved with Serafini and claimed that he had confessed to shooting his mother-in-law, Wendy Wood, who later died. Spoor told the court she no longer speaks to Samantha Scott and believes she was being deceptive. In an unexpected moment, both legal teams focused on Scott's appearance. Side-by-side photos were presented in court showing Erin Spoor at a previous hearing wearing a particular suit and hairstyle, and recent media images of Samantha Scott after her release from jail sporting a similar look. Spoor testified and reportedly told an investigator she believes that Scott is trying to be her, calling the resemblance creepy. The court will not be okay. The people have rested their case. The defense will be presenting their case when court is back in session. And so that is, he has not got his appeals. He's been sentenced to life. And let's see here, anything else here? Erin Spoor's husband Daniel killed her dad and attempted to kill her mom, and then she described him as a loving husband in court. So Erin Spoor painted Daniel Serafini as a loving husband and father when she testified at his trial for shooting her parents. In the aftermath of the shooting, Serafini told Scott that he had shot his mother-in-law twice in the head, but she kept that confession and her role in the killings a secret until after they were arrested. And when prosecutors charged her with murder, she struck a deal with prosecutors, agreeing to plead guilty to accessory and testify against Serafini at his murder trial. In return, Scott, who maintains that she thought she was driving Serafini to Lake Tahoe to purchase cocaine, managed to avoid jail time. But she received 2 years probation. Meanwhile, when Dan Serafini went on trial, his wife, Erin, whom he welcomed 2 young sons with, testified on his behalf, arguing that he did not have a role in the shooting that killed her father and severely injured her mother, who died by suicide nearly 2 years later. Still, Dan Serafini was found guilty of murder of his father-in-law and attempted murder for his mother-in-law in July of 2025, and 1 week later, Spoor filed for divorce. In the filing viewed by the media, there appeared to be discrepancies in Spoor's accounts. Though she testified during trial that they wed in 2011, she wrote in the divorce complaint that they got married in 2010. And I told you why that was, right? They had a civil ceremony, and then they got married in Hawaii. Serafini eventually received multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole, and is now giving a first sit-down interview from prison. And he did that on Dateline, and that was the April 17th episode. Okay, so let's see what they're doing now. Okay, and this is Erin. Put Erin's picture up there. Come on. Where'd you go, Erin's picture? Oh my goodness. Hang on a sec. Hold on, I gotta shut some of these windows because I can't. Okay, hang on a minute. Hang on. Okay. So again, she defended her husband. She said they had an open marriage. On the witness stand, she testified that she and Serafini maintained an open marriage. She openly discussed his longtime affair with their friend and former nanny, Samantha Scott. Okay, and her sister's attorney noted that Erin was initially scrutinized as a potential suspect, but Erin was never formally charged with a crime related to the attack. Let me go over here. So, okay, I was getting to where she filed for divorce, and then I was trying to show you. Here's a photo of that's Daniel in court. Okay, so here's a little more about what exactly happened. When questioned by police, Samantha Scott, initially lied about her part in the crime. But after taking a plea deal and given immunity, she told a different account. On the witness stand at Serafini's trial, Samantha Scott said that they first met after she began taking riding lessons with Dan's wife, Erin, in 2017. She and Erin became fast friends, and soon Samantha Scott was helping out with everything from child care to horse deliveries. Serafini was also warm, friendly, and attractive, and with that in mind, she said she didn't give much thought to Serafini's request that she meet him in Elko, near the gold mine where he worked on June 4th of 2021, my birthday, and drive him to Lake Tahoe the following day. Samantha Scott, who had taken drugs with Serafini, said she thought he was buying cocaine. When they arrived outside Homewood, Scott said she waited in the parked car for 5 hours as Serafini hid out in his in-laws' house until Gary and Wendy returned from the lake. As they drove home after the shooting, Scott said Serafini disassembled his gun and tossed it into a ravine after they crossed the Nevada state line. 5 months later, as Scott and Serafini's relationship intensified, she recalled he told her that he had shot his mother-in-law, implying he killed his father-in-law as well. He threatened to kill Samantha Scott if she told anybody. But by then, Scott didn't need a reason to lie on his behalf. She did it for Dan, she told the court. All the while, she maintained her friendship with Erin, who has denied any involvement in the plot to kill her parents and has never been criminally charged. Until Scott's arrest, she continued to babysit Erin's children. She spent time with Erin's mother after the shootings, and Scott and Erin traveled together to Mexico in 2022 for elective surgery paid for by Dan Serafini. So they had elective surgery in Mexico. Erin, meanwhile, has stood by her husband. At his trial, she testified that the figure seen in the surveillance video did not look like the man she laid next to for 13 years of her life. She said, "He has always been there for me. He's an amazing father. He's a great provider. He's my best friend." That loyalty, however, has destroyed her relationship with her sole surviving family member, Adrian. In addition to the wrongful death suit, the sisters are fighting over the Lake Tahoe home that Wendy and Gary put into the trust for them. "My parents were forces of nature. They were strong, adventurous, generous, and they loved deeply," said Adrian. "And that's how I want people to remember them, not as victims, but as incredible people they were, as the incredible people they were." Okay, now. Okay. So somebody said, "Somebody please tell me how you remain with the person who murdered your parents. Not only is it disturbing and disgusting, but it's highly suspicious. You don't continue to lay next to someone and not know they are capable of such a thing, especially afterwards. I'm surprised he didn't plan on killing her too, so he'd inherit whatever she received from their estate. I certainly don't blame her sister for fighting Erin's right to inherit parts of their estate. If Adrian ever sues for wrongful death or a similar charge in civil court where there is a less stringent burden of proof, I'll bet she wins." Someone said, "Sadly, sounds exactly like my family. They use money to control everyone and everything. I saw my parents for who they were and moved 3,000 miles away from them so I could raise my family away from their toxicity. However, there is also one child like Erin who becomes as bad as their parents. In my case, my brother, he is an exact replica as them as an adult and the same parent to his children. I grew up wealthy, but I would have traded all of that money for loving, kind, supportive, and caring parents. I hope Adrian gets all that she deserves. Erin ends up in jail with her husband and those kids be raised by decent people," this person wrote. They wrote that. Someone said, "I thought my late mother, who I called the General, was bad until I read this. She was very manipulative and a narcissist of sorts. So when she passed away at age 98, it was a relief. Plotting to kill an in-law or relative is a whole different ballgame, as this former baseball player is discovering. The in-laws certainly didn't..." Hold on a second. "Deserve to get shot. But it's interesting, as messed up all the players were in this story, that the possible exception of the younger daughter, then again, maybe the younger daughter is simply trying to do a final money grab, just like all the others have done through the years. Well, I don't condone murder." Oh, on a second. No, okay. Wow. It's crazy. Okay. See what else we got here. All right, let me check the other news. So that was that story. I hope that you guys enjoyed that. Hi, Ari. You hear me good? Yeah, I hope that you enjoyed that. Perfect sound. And I'm just going to check to see what else is going on. But that's the story of from the mound to murder. From the pitching mound to murder. All right, let me go over here and see what we got here. Louisville sports Kenny Klein dead after choking at a restaurant. Oh my gosh. Nancy Guthrie. Cops close in on mass suspect as floodgates open on answers. What? What? I know this is going to be just nothing but a joke. There may be a breakthrough in the baffling search for Nancy Guthrie. Investigators' most promising clue to date has been video footage that was been obtained from the doorbell security camera. However, let's see here. Investigators shared the images with the public. Right. Depicting a masked individual on her porch before the suspected kidnapping. However, their identity remained unconfirmed, but now experts suggest investigators are closing in on the person's true identity. Former FBI agent Maureen O'Connell says she has connections among the investigators, and she told Megyn Kelly they're getting close to the porch guy. This development follows Nancy's daughter, Savannah Guthrie, calling 911 about suspicious individuals loitering outside her mother's home. Maureen anticipated his identification would cause the floodgates to swing open, leading to additional information about Nancy's disappearance emerging. She indicated that she was 75% certain the suspect would be apprehended shortly. Megyn said that's big news, that's huge, big, if true, as the kids say. All right, so I don't know. Oh, in Venezuela, oh my gosh, terrible, terrible destruction there and the earthquakes. Prayers for all of those people. So many have died and so many are missing, and oh my gosh. Okay. But I have to say, I'm getting tired. I didn't get much sleep last night. I went to bed late and I got up super duper early. So, Really Farmhouse says the reward is more than the... Oh no, that's way back. Why is my chat all there? Chat's all gone there. All right, let's do this daily puzzle. puzzle. Ouch. Let me see here. Oh, what is this? Let's see. One, two. Okay. Oh. Oh my goodness. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna have to just get a hi Ari. Okay, time for you to go to sleep. Yeah, me too. I gotta go to sleep too. Blessings to you. Blessings for everybody. Prayers for everybody. I love you all. Thanks for hanging out. I'm gonna do one of these because I'm just so tired. I just can't even. What am I doing? right, guys. I love you. God bless. Prayers. Have a great night. I got to go to sleep. I'm exhausted. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to everybody that came and watched and everything. I'll see you tomorrow. Be well.